between state police and ICE to enforce immigration policies?
Absolutely. Governor Youngkin actually threatened our localities in his introduced budget, saying that if our localities and the local police department did not cooperate with federal ICE agents, that he would take away their funding. And so I and others in leadership in the Democratic caucus, we took that language out of the budget. Youngkin put it back in. We took it back out again during reconvene session. As an immigrant myself, as someone who works very closely with so many of our immigrant communities, I am firmly against the kind of actions that Youngkin is introducing. Our police departments and our sheriffs, they're responsible for public safety, and that is what the majority of them want to do. They do not want to act as agents of immigration law. That is beyond the scope of their responsibility and their training.
All right, thank you. What is your plan to improve Virginia public schools?
So, when we got the JLARC report, the Joint Legislative Audit report that came out in the fall of 23, we jumped immediately into action. That year for the biennium budget, I introduced a legislative language to respond to the crisis that was outlined by that report. We have been underfunding Virginia schools at the state level to the tune of $6.6 billion. And so last year, I introduced budget language and legislation to start targeting those most vulnerable areas. My budget introduction of $2.2 billion successfully was enrolled into the biennium budget. We passed that, and that has begun the process of providing support and resources for those school districts that are serving the most vulnerable students, our at-risk students, our students with special needs, and our English language learners. And this year I followed up to begin to tackle the next set of areas and introduced another budget amendment for $1.1 billion, including pay raises for teachers, support for our school personnel. We successfully lifted the support cap. The governor came back with a different amendment, and we fought him. We're waiting for his actions. My full determination is to protect public education. For me, that is the most important public good that we have. And you have my word, I'm going to be fighting for it. As an educator for 30 years, this is a top priority for me.
All right. And how would you support the funding of Virginia state parks and natural areas?
So, we've been working steadily in the legislature to provide additional support and resources for state parks. We've seen improvements in our cabins that are available. We've seen tremendous growth, particularly during COVID, during those a couple of years when people needed that recreational space, needed to rejuvenate and spend time with their families. And that energy has not died down. Our state parks are attracting record numbers of individuals. And so as a member of the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Conservation, and Natural Resources, we have been fighting to put in more state dollars for the upgrade and the upkeep of those state parks. We're going to have to do even more now, given the targeted attacks that we're seeing from the Trump-Musk administration as they're decreasing the funding, not just around national parks, but also around our support for our state historic sites and so much that is critical for us as a Commonwealth.
Oh, okay. So will you support the repeal of the right to work law?
I absolutely will. I have been standing side by side with our labor unions, our workers. The workers are the backbone of our society. Workers built this country. Unions built this country. We cannot forget the impact that unions and organizing have had on expanding the middle class, fighting for worker safety, improving our systems that impact every single one of us. Those fair wages that many people enjoy, that's the result of strong union organizing. And I am fully committed to working towards repealing the right to work. It is centrally important, especially now under the Trump-Musk administration. the core of our response to what's happening in Washington is going to be organized effort. And one of the key leading factors that we have as a society is organized labor. We're going to be counting on our labor brothers and sisters to help us continue this movement, to respond and protect every single American and Virginian.
All
Mr.
right.
Chair, we're at time.
Okay, well, thank you